Okay, I hope you can hear me. I will begin with a few introductions. Thank you for attending our G20 webinar today. Your Galigeo hosts are Vincent, who you probably heard a few seconds before me. He's a product manager operating from home. And myself, Christian, in charge of international sales, also operating from home. As you probably know, for sanitary reasons, we are currently confined in France, but we remain fully operational in this webinar in business. So having said that, Vincent, next screen. Thank you again for attending our G20 webinar. Today, we have more than 100 registrations attesting to the interest in location analytics and Galigeo products. There's also worldwide presence. You come from Australia, from many countries in Asia, from South, Central, and North America, Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. We're truly honored. You also represent most business sectors, many business sectors, police forces, local and central government, healthcare organizations, transportation departments and transportation companies, rail, air, land, universities, environment and natural resource organizations, private business in retail, distribution, manufacturing, insurance, pharma, utilities, and IT consulting. So you can see many, many sectors represented. We also host our value-added resales partners like Clariba, Catch Intelligence, Indices. They represent us worldwide. So what such a diverse audience have in common? You all share similar business constraints. You want to plan, you want to execute, you want to analyze, and loop through this cycle cost effectively for your stakeholders to improve your business. You want to do good and be good. At Galigeo, we believe that location analytics is essential to solve problems that relate business data with location data. There's nothing more emblematic than the current epidemic to show the importance of proximity and health, of location and data. So Galigeo has products to blend any data with location data, to visualize and analyze so you can make decisions. Again, to do good and to be good. So with these wise words, I revert back to Vincent for the updated G20 technical description of our products. We will, in the course of the presentation, ask you to kindly reply to 2 questions. We would appreciate your feedback. In the webinar interface, you also have the possibility of asking questions that we will answer after the webinar. Well, back to you, Vincent.
Thanks, Christian. Yeah. So just before jumping into the new features of this G20, just a few words to introduce you to our brand new platform in the cloud, which is a dedicated platform for GeoAnalytics. So most of you, I guess, are already, I would say, experienced or has been introduced at least to the Galigeo technologies and everything you can do. So right now, all of that is available directly in the cloud as a standalone solution, where you have a portal where you manage your analysis reports, you connect to your data, and you have access to all the on-premise features that is already available right now, including the one that I'm going to present. All of that is included within this cloud platform. And really interesting as well, right there, as Christian said, right now we are living in a pandemic situation, and coronavirus will have consequences over almost all the businesses around the world. And to help these businesses to tackle down these consequences, we have decided to open this cloud platform for free for a limited time. So we are going to include some open source coronavirus related data. So if you're interested in if this is falling into one of your current use cases, the fight against the coronavirus consequences, do not hesitate to contact us to learn more. And anyway, you will receive after the webinar a mail in the incoming days that will give you more information about this specific program. Okay, so let's jump right now into the new features. So I'm going to try to give you a good summary of the core new features, the major new features that we have put in the G20. And then we are going to jump into the product demonstration that I'm guessing all of you are eagerly waiting for. So the first one, and we are really proud to present you this, is the possibility right now to animate the maps that contains flows. So creating flows with Galigeo Maps is something that is standard for many releases right now. But with this new version, you have the possibility to animate the flows, like you can see on the right, and we will see, of course, how to configure that during the live demonstration. So the main purpose of these new features is to be able to clearly understand the direction and the meaning of what you are currently showing on the map, and it also helps to create a meaningful wow effect. We have showcased that already to some customers, to some beta testers, and the reaction they have is, wow, this is really impressive. And it shows all the relevance of BI, and it helps also to generate user adoptions. So I'm hoping it will do the same for you when I'm going to showcase you during the product demonstration. So what are the other core new features that was something that was asked for a long time by our customers? Is the possibility to get the information needed just at a glance and without having to do extra clicking. And typically when you're on the map and you have something that is interesting, to have more details, you have to click to open the info window, and then you get all the information there. Right now, you can directly do that just by hovering your mouse over something that is relevant for you on the map. And automatically, there is a tooltip that will pop up. And in this tooltip, you can put the information you want. So you can fill it with your data, but you can also add images, etc. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later during the product demonstration. And finally, the last big one, we have completely enhanced the annotation system. So before that, you had an annotation panel where you could manage annotations. So what is an annotation? When you have something on the map that you want to highlight because it's interesting, etc., and you do not want to lose information because you are going to open the report the next week, and you want to find out what you did find today, you could annotate the map by setting some text here and there, etc. As you can see on right now on the animation on the right on this slide, we have completely redesigned this annotation system because it was not good enough. Right now, the annotation, you create them directly from the layer panel, and it behaves like any thematics that you could create. So you can have multiple layers of annotations. You can share the ones you want with the people you want, with the collaborators you want, etc. And so it's easily to communicate on the insights you are going to find, to collaborate, and to improve your storytelling. And the same, I will feature that in the product demonstration. So there are many other new features that you can discover by downloading the G20, because the G20 is live already, and also by going into our, I would say, complete changelog, and you will receive a link after this webinar for going to the web page to download the G20 and see all the changes that we have made. Of course, you can upgrade with peace of mind. All your favorite features, they are still there. All the maps that perhaps you already created in previous version of Galigeo, they are still going to work in G20. All the features that you would have used will still be there. And of course, you will have access to the new ones, and so especially the ones that I've just shown you earlier. So let's jump into this product demonstration. Hope everyone right now can see the screen okay. So it should be okay. So what we are seeing right now on the map, if I can start like this, as you can guess, it's going to be a bit related to the coronavirus right now, because everyone is talking about that, and we do think that GeooAnalytics has a lot to help regarding the consequences that coronavirus will have on the different business and in all verticals all around the world. So let's say that right now we are in a logistics company, and where we manage the logistics flows process between our plants, between our wholesaler, etc. As you can see on the map right now. If I show you the legend, so we have the plant that are represented by these icons, we have the wholesaler, and we have also places where there is a mix between the wholesaler and plant. And you can see the different flows right now. And so, for example, the Tokyo plant is sending some goods to the Warsaw plant that is itself sending back the goods to Paris, to New York, to Mexico, etc., etc. If I'm someone that is managing this logistics flows, of course, I have to take into account the impact of the coronavirus. The first one, for example, is the countries that have set some restriction in terms of goods that can go in and out of their countries. As you can see right now in red on the map. That means that if I try to send some goods to this country, then I will have some problems, because perhaps I will be limited into the number of goods I can send. Perhaps it will be way longer to make the goods enter this country. So it's going to affect my logistics supply chain, and of course this is not good for me. So I need to react, and I need to do something else. For example, as you can see there, as I was mentioning, the Tokyo one is sending to Warsaw. The same for Taiwan, and there should be an issue right there, because it will be harder for me to get my goods to Paris, to Barcelona, or to New York. One thing I could add as well is the travel flows. And there, the travel flows is the people that were infected by the coronavirus, as you can see right there, where they were coming from and where which country they have been to, and then infect other people. You can see some people, they started from China, they went to Iran, to Italy, then to Spain, etc. When you have a map like this, it starts to be a bit hard to really understand exactly the meaning of all your flows right there. You have a lot of them. You lose a bit the sight of the direction. If you take the logistic flows from Tokyo to Warsaw, is it from Warsaw to Tokyo? Just by looking at a glance right there, it's not something that is really easily to do. And this is why we have developed these animated flows, and I'm going to show you right now how it is done. When you have a thematic flows like this one, so it's showing me so this is the logistic flow process thematics. If I open it and open the thematic wizards, where you can control all the different options you have to represent this layer, you have a new option, which is use animated flows. You just need to check it, you save, and then going back on the map, you see that now the flows are going to be animated, and it's really cool to see, and you see at a glance exactly the direction of your flows. You know exactly how your goods are traveling all around the world, and it's easier to see what will be the impact on these flows. And of course, we are not limited to just only animated one layers of flows. If I take the coronavirus travel one, I can do the same. I can go there and I can also check the box there and click on save. So this is an option. All the flows are not animated by default, but you have this option to animate them. And so you can really easily create maps like this, where you have both different information about different things. One being there the logistic flows, and the other one being the travel flows of people infected by coronavirus. And it really helps you drive your operational insights and knows exactly what you want to do, what you have to do in order to be the more efficient as possible in these uncertain times. So what we could do there is, for example, say, instead of sending the goods from Tokyo to Warsaw, all this chain would be to redirect it to Riyadh and to see if it can absorb all the new goods, and then, for example, go to Riyadh to Mexico or to New York, etc., to avoid the restriction that you can see there in Poland. And because the context of coronavirus, every day we learn new things, country take new decision. Having a dashboard like that you update dailies with, let's say, the new countries that are banning goods to enter the country, or that are putting restriction in places. Every day you update it, so every day you have a clear view about what will be the impact for you on your business. One other thing, of course, that I talked about is the possibility to directly get information at a glance without having to click. So as I've said, before that you had to click. Let's say you wanted information about the Morocco, let's say, if you have information about the current restriction, the time it's going to take. Is it for 1 month, for 2 months that the goods are banned? You have to click. And then when you add click, you add this information there in the info window. So you needed extra click in order to get the information. And when you wanted a lot of them, you had to do many clicks everywhere on the map. Right now, you can just hover something interesting on the map, and then you will have a pop-up, so a tooltip that is going to give you the core information that you need to see. And of course, this information is completely configurable. So there you see you have the name of the city where the plant is located. You have the type, so that is wholesaler and plant. And you can add also pictures, and basically everything that is relevant for you can be added into this tooltip, because it's completely configurable using notably using directly HTML. So a bit more technical, but that means that you can achieve whatever you want in this tooltip. And the last thing I'm going to showcase you right now is the annotation system. So before this G20, you had one tab in this menu that was called Annotation. So this has been removed, and instead of that, to create annotation in the layer panel, when you click on the plus icon, now you have 2 options. So either you create a thematic layer. So this is the standard way of creating layers, exactly like I've done there on the map. And the other one is what we call a draw layer. And the draw layer will let you annotate the map in different manners. You see that I've clicked on create a new one. It's creating me there in the layer panel directly. And what I can do there right now is creating the annotation I want. Let's say that, as I've mentioned, I want to redirect some flows goods, some flows that are going to Warsaw. I want to redirect them to Riyadh. I can add this information just by clicking there in the annotation. And there I have the option, so I can select an icon, I can select the colors, I can select the size, and I can type some information like, I don't know, redirect flows to there. So you can really, and as you see, as I'm typing, it's typing directly on the map. You can choose the color, add color background, etc. You can just move around the annotation I've created. And when this is done, that means that I can now share that using this or this option to some of my collaborators. So I can make that public. So everyone that opens this report is going to see what I've written. And you can also share that only with some of your collaborators. And especially, for example, they are the people that would be responsible of the flows going from Tokyo to Riyadh. I can share that to him. And so he can know exactly directly on the map what I want to do and what I want him or her to do. Instead of typing that in a mail or in a separate document, everything is directly accessible there from the map, which I think is something really important. And of course, creating annotation using a point or there are small icons right there is not the only option. You also have the possibility to directly draw something on the map. Let's say, for example, there and say, okay, let's avoid this region in particular. And you, of course, you could also add text by clicking on this on the shape I've just drawn there. And what is really good is that when you have done that, you can export all of that directly using the features. It's going to export you the annotation, so it's going to share to someone you want to target. But it can also export that into some geographical format like GeoJSON in order to be able to reopen this annotation in another report if this is a use case for you. So this will be it for the demonstration. There are other many features that are up to be discovered. For example, you can now customize the logo. So you add the Galigeo logo during loading time, for example. You can now add your own logo. And there are also many other features. You have no more option to personalize the info window as well. But it will be up for you to discover these new features and, of course, to access the complete change logs to see everything we have developed, everything we have changed, and everything also we have fixed, just comparing to the previous version. Of course, all the maps you have created, and this is for you that are using the product embedded within other tools. This is available in, of course, all the new features we have seen are accessible directly within SAP BI, as you can see right there, and also in IBM Cognos. And this is for our customers and prospects that are currently using Galigeo in these two different BI ecosystems. So let's move back right now to the slides. I want to keep some time for the questions. So as I've mentioned, the G20 is live. You can download the product if you're already a customer. You already have access to the download page to download it. If you want to try it out, you have a 30-day trial, a free trial that is included within the G20. Of course, still available for SAP, for IBM. You have the API to embed all the technologies where it's the most relevant for you in a custom portal, in a custom application, etc. And you have also, as I've mentioned in the beginning, the technology as a standalone that is that you can leverage directly on the cloud, but that can also be deployed on-premise. Okay. Let's take some question if there are some question. So I've seen that one of the question is the G20 already live? So as I've mentioned, yeah, and as you have seen, the G20 it just came out today. It was supposed to come out at the beginning of this week, but yeah, because of the restriction that are currently occurring in France, it has been just delayed for a few days, but it's available right now. And after the webinar, you are going to receive a link by mail to access the download and the different change logs available. Let's see if there are some other questions, and if we have no time to answer all of the questions, we will ask them. We are going to take them offline. Okay, I see a question. So what is the difference between Galigeo and S3 ArcGIS? Okay, so this is completely two different things. So in one end, ArcGIS is a GIS solution that is a server part and a desktop part that are really geared for GIS experts that want really to work on geographical data, to create geographical data, manage them, and do really complex use cases. While Galigeo, it lets you aggregate the data that could come from the ArcGIS server with some data coming from the BI side, and that is typically something that you can't that you can't do if you are directly using a GIS tool. So it's not a tool that is geared for and that is not targeting people from the GIS side. That does not mean that person from the GIS side they can't use it. But yeah, their purposes is different. So typically, the GIS teams, most of the time, they create really useful information on the GIS side, but the business side don't have access to this information because there are silos in companies. And Galigeo is going to bring that all together in a unique environment to let business user and data analysts access both BI data from BI and data from GIS servers, for example. Blend that all together on geodata visualization, and then you have access to different tools to do selections, extraction, filtering, time series, etc. I see there was a question. Sorry, I'm just taking up because it's a bit small. I'm just taking up the question panel. Do you require a separate license to deploy G20 for upgrading an earlier version? So if you are already a customer and you are currently under maintenance, and of course you are paying your maintenance, then no, you don't need the separate license. You can directly upgrade to the G20. You can download it, install it, and everything is fine. I see there's a question: is the G20 available for Lumira Designer or only for Web Intelligence? So this question is targeting, of course, the persons that are using our extensions on the SAP environment. So the answer is right now is no. We have made the choice to separate so the Lumira Designer part with the classic, I would say, the standard release path, which is the G20. So everything you have seen right there, only a part of that is available in Lumira Designer, and it includes the animated flows. But for example, the annotation part is not in it. And yeah, this is more an advanced question, so I'm going to take that offline and not go further into the answer. So I have, will you provide the user manual with the download link? Yeah, of course. When you download the product, you have documentations. So you have the install guide, the admin guides, and you have also some get started guides that are available online, as well as some tutorials on YouTube. And of course, we are also there to help you get started if you need help. And one more question, because we are this is time, so I'm just going to take one more question. How to actively integrate between S3 ArcGIS and IBM Cognos Analytics? Okay. So the same. This is a really interesting question, especially for users that are using IBM. So you know that S3 maps for IBM Cognos is not available anymore in IBM, and Galigeo is the perfect solution to replace it because it integrates perfectly both with IBM Cognos on one hand and with S3 on the other hand. So if you are using Galigeo within IBM Cognos, you can still connect to all the services you have on the S3 side and use them directly within IBM Cognos. But the same, yeah, this is really a question targeting customers that are using IBM, and most of the person on this webinar are not. So I'm not going to go further right now, but we can take that offline as well. Yeah, and one last question, say, okay, this is generic, but really interesting. How many clients do we have all over the world? So we have more than 200 customers right now all over the world, and mainly mid and big companies. And we have a lot of national policies. We have, for example, Heineken. We have General Electric Healthcare. We have General Atomics in the US. So really, a lot of customers in different industries, like Christian was saying at the beginning. So no matter which verticals you are working on, Galigeo GeooAnalytics is a solution for you, and is a solution that can help you drive your operational insights and help you answering all your strategic location-related questions that needs to take geography into account. So we are going to stop there. There are many other questions, and we are running a little bit out of time. So all the questions that we have not answered already.
Okay, thank you very much.
Take them offline. Yeah,
Vincent, thank you very much for the technical presentation and answering these questions. So we will be getting back in touch with you by email directly, and thank you again for attending. We had very many attendees today, and we're very glad that we generated so much interest.
Yeah, thank you, Christian. Have a nice day to everyone. And if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to us. You have our contacts right there. And let's meet up another time. Thank you, guys.